What's up everybody, it's Wyvern here. In today's video, we're going to be covering an off-meta Pokemon of the Sinister Cup. Now you've heard of Dusknoir, but get ready for Dusknoir. It's still a tanky Pokemon, but less so than Dusknoir, so let's look at some of those matchups that it has. It's essentially a slightly more offensive and less defensive Pokemon than Dusknoir. Think back to Alolan Graveler and Alolan Golem in the Jungle Cup. Graveler was your more defensive pick, whereas Golem was more offensive, but they still play a very similar role. That's essentially what we're dealing with here. It's ranked 26th on PvPoke, so it's not a deep dive by any means, but it's still an off-meta Pokemon I have not seen used once. The ideal moveset on it is Hex, Ominous Wind, and Psychic, and this is one unfortunately you do need two moves to work well. I think some Pokemon in this meta, you could get away with just using one charge move on it, like Drifblim. You could get away with just running Ominous Wind. For Dusknoir, you do need both to make it work well. Having Psychic allows it to beat fighting types more handily than other ghost type Pokemon. So some of those matchups it's going to win are going to be Poliwrath, Medicham, Machamp, Lucario, and Primeape. So pretty much all of the big fighting types it's going to be able to take down, as well as Cresselia, Claydol, Bronzong, Frostlass, and Alolan Raichu. It's going to tie Drifblim and Gallade. Meanwhile, it will lose to Mawile, Bastiodon, Steelix, Gardevoir, Dusknoir, Haunter, and Banette, bringing it to a win total of 59% in the Sinister Cup. So to simplify all that, pretty much it's going to win most fighting and psychic matchups, but lose to ghost and steel matchups. These matches are going to be against Wazap7. Be sure to go check out his channel, it will be linked down in the description. In this first matchup, I'm going to be leading with Bastiodon. I really like it as a lead here, since really the only other lead I've been seeing used a lot that would be able to give it some heck is Alolan Marowak, and that's one Bastiodon can still win depending on the IVs. So I just really like it as a lead. He's going to see that negative matchup with the Dusknoir, and he's going to switch out into Steelix. So we'll come in with our Medicham. We're going to be going straight for that Power-Up Punch. Like I said, it was debuffed in the last update, unfortunately. But I still like Medicham as a pick. I don't think it should be ranked nearly as low as it is. Personally, I like it better than Poliwrath, but that's just my opinion. I think the main reason it's not being used as much as Poliwrath is because it is weak to that Ghost type, which is so dominant in this meta. You see lineups with 2 or even 3 ghost type Pokemon, but you're pretty much guaranteed to be going up against one. So I might explore Poliwrath a little bit if Medicham doesn't do very well in my practice tournaments, but that's a video for another time. I might do a Medicham v Poliwrath discussion video. There we're going to shield because I'm expecting a Earthquake and I don't want it to knock us out. I want to be able to get off this Power-Up Punch since I know this is my best bet to go up against the Steelix. So there we do get the Power-Up Punch off, and then we're just able to feint it with fast moves. And we're going to wait and see what comes in. I think he's just letting that switch timer tick down. The switch timer is back, so now I'm expecting a sub in. And it ends up being that Dusknoir again. Unfortunately, he does have a charge move, and this is one I'm not going to bother shielding because I know we're going to lose this matchup regardless. And we can just come back in with the Bastiodon and finish him off. We're going to try and get that Ice Punch before we're knocked out, and we are able to get to it. So I believe this has been powered up twice with Power-Up Punch, so this isn't how much just a base Ice Punch does to Dusknoir, but regardless he is going to shield that, so we're not going to be able to see that damage there. We're going to come back in with the Bastiodon since Dusknoir is going to beat Dusknoir, and I don't have Ominous Wind on my Dusknoir since I was just testing it for this video, so you'll see some of those matchups later as well. Going to get that Shadow Punch coming through there, not going to deal a ton of damage to the Bastiodon. So this is maybe a farmable matchup, but I just decided to go straight for the Stone Edge. I probably should have overcharged a little bit more for the back end, but we do see that Stone Edge isn't going to be able to knock him out, so we will be able to charge up a bit more energy. We're going to decide not to shield here once again, because even if it is a Fire Punch, that's not going to deal that much damage to us. It's not a super powerful move, and it's going to hit us neutral with that Rock type as well. We see him switch out into Alolan Marowak, and normally that's a matchup I would have stuck in, but I wanted to see how this Dusknoir is going to be doing against it. So we're going to decide to shield here. I'm expecting it to be a Shadow Ball, but I should have been counting those hexes to know it can't be a Shadow Ball. So we're going to go straight for Psychic there. This is a matchup where having Ominous Wind would really help us, and that's why I said you need to have both on Dusknoir to make it viable. So we're going to see that does cause his defense to fall, however. So our hexes are going to be hitting him a bit more powerful now. Unfortunately, we are out of shields, and he knew that, so he's just going to go straight for a Shadow Ball here, and there's nothing we can do about it. We probably handled that shielding situation very poorly, but regardless, we are going to be coming back in with the Bastiodon. Run into just a little bit of lag here, but nothing too bad. We see him go for that charge move. Our attacks were going through. You saw his health drop there a little bit. It just wasn't showing for some reason. So that Bone Club is going to do a decent chunk to us. We are just going to be able to fate him with our smackdowns, and we're going to go straight for the Stone Edge on the Dusknoir, so that's going to be able to take the match for us with him down to 0 shields and with his health so low. Match 2, we're going to lead with Dusknoir, and we do get that matchup we were looking for against the Poliwrath. So this is going to be a very good depiction of how Dusknoir is going to be able to handle those fighting types. So we see the bubble certainly doing decent damage to us for a fast move, but we are going to be going straight for that Psychic. Unfortunately, he gets his move off first. We're going to let it go through because I know whatever it is, Ice Punch or Power Punch, it's not going to be hitting us that hard. So we see the Ice Punch does a sizable chunk, but we are still in the yellow. We're going to be going straight for that Psychic, and this is probably my least favorite charge move to try and do. He is going to go ahead and shield that one there. And then here we run into a bit more lag, just like the last match. So we're going to end up shielding this one just because I know we are going to be able to get to another Psychic, which will either force his hand into a 0 shield scenario. He's going to have to shield to keep that Poliwrath alive, or we're going to be able to take down that Poliwrath. So we're going to go straight for the Psychic again. And this time I think we do a little bit better with the icons. We keep up with them in the swirly swirl a bit better, and we do get all of them there. I see Psychic is able to essentially one-shot that Poliwrath if you're able to get it through. So that's something where you could maybe shield bait with an Ominous Wind if you have it, and hope to get the stat boost and then go for the kill with Psychic. That's one way you could potentially play that. But it is crucial that you have both charge moves. You saw in the first match how having Ominous Wind against that Alolan Marowak would have greatly benefited us. There, having Psychic was the better option. But we're going to go straight for an Ominous Wind on whatever ends up coming in, and it is that Alolan Raichu. So now we're going to switch out into our Alolan Marowak, just because that Electric type would have been hitting Drifloon super effective. And if you guys will notice here, this is my third Ghost I'm bringing in this matchup. So this is a 3-Ghost lineup. I wanted to try this out a bit. I wanted to test it with Dusknoir as an anti-fighting type. Since I don't have a Ghost Confusion user, obviously, I don't even think one of those exists. But if you want to run a 3-Ghost lineup, definitely keep your eye on Dusknoir as that anti-fighting type Pokemon. There we're going to go for the Bone Club on Alolan Raichu to finish it off. And we are going to, I forget if we shield here or not. We do. So we're going to shield here to keep the Alolan Marowak alive. Since we have a bit of energy charged up on it, we're going to be able to go straight for that Shadow Ball. Since he doesn't have any shields left, this is going to be able to knock him out, and this is going to be able to win the match for us. So let's head on into Game 3 and see the last matchups with Dusknoir. And in the last match of the night, we see Alolan Marowak as our lead, and we're going to see that mirror match right away. So this is one I'm ready to stick in. Alolan Marowak is probably one of the easier mirror matches. Both moves are going to be hitting super effective, so even if you fail on a shield bait, you can still hit for some good damage. So I'm ready to stick in there. That's when you probably don't want to switch out in, but he's going to switch out into that Steelix. So we're going to follow with Medicham. But the Alolan Marowak mirror match is one I probably would not give up switch priority for, just because, like I said, even if you fail a shield bait and the move you're trying to bait with ends up going through, well, it's going to be a Bone Club and it's going to be hitting him super effective anyways. We're going to decide not to shield here because I know whatever it is isn't going to be able to feint us, and we really only need this Medicham to take out the Steelix. That's what it's here for, so I'm not worried about keeping it alive beyond this point. So we're going to be able to get excellent on that power-up punch. We're going to get it right into the red, and I'm hoping he's not able to get to another charge move. Unfortunately, he is. We are going to decide not to shield here because whatever comes in is going to be able to look at that Steelix funny and knock it out. And we don't need a very close to dead Medicham alive after this matchup. So we're going to come back in with the Alolan Marowak and just charge up a bit of energy on it as we knock out that Steelix. And we're going to wait and see what comes in, but we're going to go straight for that Shadow Ball just because I'm anticipating the Alolan Marowak to come back in, and I'm hoping he thinks maybe we don't have enough energy charged up for a Shadow Ball. It's going to be that Alolan Raichu, which is another positive matchup for us because we're going to be able to go for the Bone Club, which is also going to be super effective on the Raichu, so we can spend a bit less energy on it there. We're going to shield here just because a Wild Charge would bring us very close to death. Even hitting neutral is just such a powerful move. So Alolan Raichu is one I have not looked at for this cup, but I might be doing a video on it later down the stretch because in these two matches I think it performed pretty well for him. So now that he's down to 0 shields, we're going to be able to go for another Bone Club. Unfortunately, he is able to get his charge move off first, and I'm going to gamble here and say it's another Thunder Punch, not a Wild Charge. and it does end up paying off for us. So we're going to go for that Bone Club, which, since he has no shields, is going to hit that Raichu super effective and going to be able to knock him out. Unfortunately, our Alolan Marowak is very close to death, so we're going to try and go for that Bone Club. I know he has energy charged up, so I just want to be able to hit him with a parting shot before he's able to knock us out. We could have gotten to the Shadow Ball, but I really didn't want to chance that. So there he is, just going to be able to knock us out. And now we're going to come in with Dusknoir as our closer. This is, like you saw in the first matchup, another instance where having Ominous Wind would have been a lot more helpful. We're going to shield there just because I'm expecting the Shadow Ball. He had enough energy charged up and it was his more powerful move, so I wasn't super concerned about it being a Bone Club. I was pretty sure it was going to be a Shadow Ball. And now we're just going to be able to go straight for this Psychic, and even since we have Psychic, not Ominous Wind, this is going to be doing enough damage to this Marowak to be able to win the match for us. So I think Dusknoir could be a very interesting Pokemon for the Sinister Cup. It's one I'll certainly consider. I might not want to shell out the Stardust for a second move, but it is only 50k as opposed to 75k for a lot of other Pokemon, so it is a bit on the cheaper side. If you're wanting to test out and run that 3-Ghost lineup, I would heavily recommend Dusknoir, just because it does have that Psychic to deal with other fighting types. I would pair it with something like a Driftblim or a Haunter to take care of other ghosts, maybe a Bayonet in that slot, and then a Alolan Marowak as that 3rd Ghost type Pokemon, so that is certainly something you could do. It's also good as an anti-fighter if you're not able to get one of the better Confusion users. I mean, everybody should have access to Claydol and Bronzong, but if you're not able to get something like a Cresselia and you just want a bit of a surprise pick, I think Dusclops could certainly fit that role. It's not a hard counter to fighting types, but having that Psychic on it will certainly catch people off guard. But anyways, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. And until next time, guys, I'm Wyvern.